Hello and welcome to the first episode of the brandly new named Distractors podcast. My name is Ryan.
My name's Toby. The brandly new name. You just made those
Yeah,
words
yeah,
up.
that's the yeah, I did the brandly new named.
The brandly.
The newly it should be the newly named, shouldn't it?
The brand new. This is going off to a great start.
Well, we're on brand because we are distracting
And we are distracted.
and we
It's
are
been a while.
distracted. That's kind of that's kind of why we went through the whole brand change because while we both loved the Untitled Actors podcast, I was thinking that we could come up with a little bit more of a unique selling point, and I thought, what's something that me and Toby are very good at? It's just coming up with topics that distract both us and everybody else from what we're doing.
We do tend to go off on like 20-minute tangent, which is quite,
But that's why people love us.
people. Hello, people. Hello, all the 8 people listening to this. It's very nice to see to.
So yeah, this is us now. I think we're gonna keep this. We've got a whole new logo. We've got a whole new sort of channel design on both Facebook and YouTube.
We should
And
probably
I've got a
explain.
surprise for you.
Oh,
I've got a surprise for you, Toby. Yeah. Um, I have enabled us to start posting on Spotify now.
oh shit! Nice. How like how, didn't
Yeah.
that cost?
So
Didn't,
that's the
didn't that
that's the
cost
big
money?
reveal.
Didn't that cost money?
Just a little bit of money, but I thought, you know what? We're never going to really make any impact on this unless we start making it as accessible as possible. And one of the major ways that people absorb podcasts right now is by listening to them on Spotify. So I've just
That's
taken that
fucking
leap.
awesome. I'm gonna wait. So what is it called on Spotify? Distractors podcast.
It will be called the Distractors Podcast. Yes. So when this goes live, it should be available on both YouTube and Spotify.
That's awesome.
Yeah, love that.
That's exciting. Hell yeah, dude. We're branching out.
We're branching out. We're making strides with this. We're gonna have 50 listeners by the end of the year.
Hell yeah. I wanna take a minute to just explain why it's been so long. Basically,
Yes. Yeah.
so we had. I'm a big fucking radical lefty, big political Andy. I'm so into my politics. Okay, so when the siege of the Capitol happened in America, we were right on that shit. We
Hmm.
did a huge, like, almost 2 hour long podcast about it, and it got banished to the shadow realm, sadly.
Yeah, it did. There was some technical issues with the recording. So it needed to be completely eradicated.
However, we're using a new recording method this time,
Yes. Yes.
so it should work
Which is
better.
working superbly, by the way.
What? So you can hear me slurping my tea in HD. You ready for this?
Oh, that's ASMR right there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby. Um. So yeah, what's happened? Political news. Let's do like a fucking mega catch up. Okay, so in America, there was a siege in the Capitol. Trump didn't act fast enough. Blah 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 blah. Fast forward, Biden is president. Trump's being impeached again. The impeachment trial did not work. Uh, Now there's a huge power outage in Texas, and right wing pundits are blaming it on wind energy when it was nothing to do with wind energy. Well, when I say it
Mm-hmm.
was nothing to do with wind energy, they're saying like, "Oh, wind energy doesn't work," when literally it was just that the wind turbines weren't equipped for winter weather, which is fair because it's Texas. They weren't expecting any
Mm-hmm.
winter weather, and during all this, Texas Senator Ted Cruz, who is a literal hobgoblin, flew to Cancun with his kids and got caught.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all the
With a
American
brand new
politics
sort of
news.
power mullet, by the way.
I
He's
I want to know what's going on with his hair. He really went for the
it
fuck.
does. It looks like a
The
power mullet.
he went for the fuck my shit up, fam. That was the look he went
He
for.
did. He really did.
It's horrific. It's very funny, but it's horrific. Oh, what else? Rush Limbaugh died. Rest in
Rush
piss.
Limbaugh died.
Rest in piss, Rush Limbaugh. Yeah. Did you not know about
Oh
that?
my god. No, I didn't know he was dead.
Piece of shit, Rush Limbaugh. Finally dead. Hope he's burning in hell with Margaret Thatcher.
Jeez.
He's a piece of shit. You know, in the 90s, during the height of the AIDS crisis, he have a segment on his radio show called The AIDS Report, where he would literally just celebrate the deaths, the horrible, agonizing deaths of people who were dying of AIDS.
Seriously, he would celebrate people dying of AIDS.
Yep. He's a piece of shit.
Oh my god, that's horrible.
Yeah, it's horrendous. And there was I forget the context. There was a hearing where some law students, I think it was, don't quote me on that, some students of a university were asking for contraceptives to be provided for free as part of from the uni or something like that. I should really have read up on this fully, but the main point is he turned around and said they're sluts.
So they were asking for free contraceptives, and that makes them sluts.
Yeah, they're sluts, and essentially, also if I mean he's just from that generation of men that thinks that women shouldn't have any body autonomy and that they shouldn't be allowed to sleep around. Doesn't believe in contraceptives. Just a fucking Republican whack job. And yeah. So rest in piss, Rush Limbaugh. I hope you're enjoying it down there in hell.
Yeah, because that's definitely where you ended up, my guy.
Yep. Damn.
So hang on, you mentioned like Trump's being impeached again, but he's not the president anymore. So what's going on with that?
He was the president when the charges were brought against him. So he was impeached for inciting insurrection.
I see. Okay.
And you've fallen on the Republican talking point. They're basically saying, no, this is unconstitutional. He's not the president anymore. You can't impeach him. Well, that's fucking stupid. Of course you can impeach him. In fact, you should impeach George Bush. You should impeach Bill Clinton. You should impeach Barack Obama. They're all war criminals.
So hold on, explain to me how that works, because while the charges were put against him while he was still in office, he's no longer in office. So what would the punishment be for, like, if they were to successfully impeach him?
He would never be able to run for president ever again.
Oh, I see. Okay, so it's to stop them from running for office again.
Yeah. But yeah, so the Republican argument was, well, if we set this precedent that we can impeach people who are no longer sitting, then we should just impeach all presidents. Yes, you should, man. Here's my based opinion of the day. All presidents have committed impeachable offenses, especially Barack Obama and George Bush. Fucking warmongering lunatics. They should be in jail. The amount of fucking brown kiddies that Barack Obama ordered drone strikes on.
Yeah, right enough. Yeah.
And then you've got the Iraq War. It's like Tony Blair. I think Tony Blair should be in jail as well for his complicity in the Iraq War.
Well,
Dick
like
Cheney, he should be in jail.
I can understand the argument of, because like I understand the rights argument of you can't judge people based on the actions that they've already done. I understand that, because then you have to hold everybody accountable for everything that they've ever done.
That's ridiculous, right?
The whole purpose of
ridiculous. That's like, oh, you can't judge him. He committed a murder when he was president. You can't judge him now, man. Come on. You can't judge him now, even though he committed a murder when he was president.
No, I'm not saying
you can't
that.
Prosecute him for that.
I'm not saying that we can't judge them. I'm saying I understand the argument for why we possibly shouldn't. I understand it. I'm not saying I agree with it.
It's a baby-brained argument. Because they're just shitting themselves because they think it'll mean that we'll be able to, that the precedent will be set and that impeachments will just be carried out on loads of former presidents, which isn't going to happen. Mainly because they're all dead.
Yeah. I mean, I understand why a lot of people wouldn't want that, um, because it would mean that people like Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer, um, who quite often frequented Jeffrey Epstein's private island and committed horrible acts on it, would then be held accountable for things that he's done in the past. Whereas so far, he's not even being questioned about it. It's just been swept under the rug, even though it was quite clearly public knowledge.
Well, that's something I'm less informed upon, so I wouldn't be able to.
But like what I'm saying is that's an example of somebody who possibly wouldn't want to be held accountable for things that they've done in the past. So I can understand why people wouldn't want to hold other people accountable for things that they've done in the past,
Well,
because
this
then
is
it means
different. We're talking
like the
about
same principle
sitting.
could be put on them.
We're talking about, well, everyone can be judged for stuff they've done in the past, but sitting members of government is what we're talking about. They deem it different. So when you're the president, you have a certain amount of diplomatic immunity and impunity and things like that. You can do things without, you can't convict a sitting president, okay? Which is why you have to impeach them first.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason presidents have this layer of protection is because they do things and order things that can be deemed illegal, such as the invasion of Iraq and the bombing of kids
Mm-hmm.
and ordering insurrection at the Capitol. But yeah, so you can, yeah, so that's why you have to go through an impeachment hearing. And this is where people will defend and say blah, 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 fucking blah. But the argument for this one was just dumb because it was like, well, you can't impeach him because he's not president anymore. Yeah. But it's like, that's so stupid though, because that just means like the lame duck period in January, which is, after the election has been certified and the outgoing president only has January left. That creates like a grace period where they can do whatever the fuck they want without being convicted. Because
Mm-hmm.
the charges of impeachment were brought against Trump in January. And by the time they finally made it to the Senate floor, he wasn't president anymore. So it's kind of setting the precedent that, in January of your last month in office, you can just do whatever the fuck you want and you're not going to get in trouble. And that's essentially what the Democrats' argument was, which is a pretty solid argument. But Republicans basically just don't have a spine, and that's why they didn't vote to impeach, because they're all pussies. And they don't want to lose the election in 2022 when the Senate seats
Mm-hmm.
are up for election. Anyway, let's talk about something more fun, because American politics is kind of boring now, because it's just, which is what we wanted, I guess. We wanted politics again. I will say I do miss Trump's tweets. I love his tweets. They were so funny.
I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword, because he's horrible. He's a horrible, horrible man who says horrible, horrible things everywhere, especially on Twitter. But Twitter is so much better
so
off
funny.
without him on it. But he's only funny because like we can look back on the tweets and see like most of it is just him being an idiot. But didn't he he was posting on Twitter when when the Capitol was under siege, wasn't he? So he was inciting it more.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna find some of
But
some of my favorite Trump tweets. Hang on. Keep going.
okay, go for it.
No, you keep going.
I like that he's not on Twitter anymore. I like that he's not there. I feel like Twitter couldn't really have taken him off, or they couldn't really have banned his account while he was in office just because it was a bad look. However, they
Yeah.
really should have, because one could argue that if they had done that, the Capitol siege wouldn't necessarily have been nearly as bad as it was. I still think it would have happened because people would just do it anyway.
Yeah, it was years and years. It was years and years of racial agitation that these people had been subjected to, brainwashing and scaremongering that had riled these hogs up to the point where they wanted to storm the Capitol.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, I'm trying to find some good. There's this one about before he was president.
Yeah, go on.
And it was about, it was about this guy that was speaking in Congress, and apparently he looked funny. Hang on, here we are. It's from December 21st, 2011. Barney Frank looked disgusting, nipples protruding in his blue shirt before Congress. Very, very disrespectful. Nipples protruding. Oh, it's too good.
That's ridiculous. Honestly, I can't imagine anybody else saying this shit and getting away with it.
His nipples were protruding, to be fair. I'm looking at the picture of Barney Frank. Those are some protruding nipples. Very, very disrespectful. Yeah. That's Trump, though. Now we got baby brain Joe Biden.
We're better off without him.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. It's kind of mad that, like, for the last 4 years, the people that have been in power, that the right wing people have been in power, and all they've screamed about is the left are silencing us. We're being silenced. They're trying to silence us, and it's like, dude, you're in control. I'm gonna go on my podcast and do a 2-hour podcast about how I'm being silenced. Please buy my new book. It's called I've Been Silenced. Literally what the right wing.
You clearly haven't
like.
been silenced.
Yeah, that's the point. Fucking morons.
Yeah, unreal.
The silent majority who were never silent and were never the majority. That is Trump fans in a nutshell.
Yeah.
My guns. They're trying to take my guns, brother. COVID's fake.
I think like Stephen Fry kind of summed it up quite nicely. He was saying something along the lines of it wasn't the fact that the right had won, it was the fact that the left were being so complacent about it.
That's
apparently
bang
the
on.
left
like
essentially just let them run wild.
Yeah, like, and they still do. Like, the Democrats are pussies, okay? And the Democrats, let's make it very clear, the Democrats aren't a left-wing party. They're a moderate right-wing party. They're what should be the right-wing party in America, and there should be another party that's left-wing, and the Republicans, who are literally like fascist gargoyles, should just not exist. So the Democrats, even though the Capitol got stormed and people got killed, people died, the Democrats are like extending an olive branch and being like, "Oh, we got to do bipartisanship. We gotta work together, Jack. Come on, Jack." And that's fucking dumb, because if it was the Democrats that had led an insurrection, the Republicans would be baying for blood. They'd be foaming at the mouth, being like, wanting to execute Democrats. Okay. And then Democrats, because they're such pussies.
Yeah, they would.
Like,
they'd be.
Hey, let's work together. Kumbaya, Jack. Which the Republicans don't care about. They don't want to work together.
No, they don't. Like, they need to stop trying to bridge the gap, and they need to start being much more hard and fast with their legislation.
It's never going to happen. Because Joe Biden is a president who only wants to maintain the status quo. He doesn't want there to be any radical change in America. He actively says there needs to be a Republican Party because there needs to be opposition. He doesn't want anything radical to change in America. He just wants the balance to be kept like it is now. Genuinely.
But there is no balance. There's no balance between the parties at all.
But if you have that opposition, then you never get anything radical done. You will never be able to pass any radical change.
No, I understand.
That opposition.
I get it. It's just a little bit like I don't agree with what Joe Biden's saying, essentially. I think, yes, there has to be an opposition, but there also needs to be complete radical change to the entire American political system, because the balance between the two parties is completely off center. It leans much more heavily towards the right political spectrum, and the rest of the country essentially wants it to swing much further to the left. But the problem is, the right have such a tight hold on it that that won't happen unless there's a complete government reform.
Yeah, totally. The only left wing politicians in America right now, I'd have to say, like of any prominence, are Ilhan Omar, Bernie Sanders, AOC, and Raphael Warnock, who was just elected. That's it. Those are the only left leaning politicians they've got, pretty much. Oh, and I suppose Elizabeth Warren as well. Um, that's the one that Trump always calls Pocahontas.
Yes.
But other than that, the majority of them are just gargoyles.
Yeah. It is kind of it's kind of very obvious once you look at it because Bernie Sanders has ran for office for the last 8 years and he hasn't got it. Like he's ran in opposition of the like he ran against Hillary Clinton to be the leader of the Democrats, and then he ran again against Joe Biden, and he still didn't win. So it kind of shows that the Democrats don't really want like government reform at all. They just want everything to stay exactly the way it is, but without
Yeah.
any horrible acts of treason or horrible acts of,
Joe Biden.
just horrible acts.
Yeah, Joe Biden had the easiest run, the easiest presidential campaign in history. He just sat on his fucking ass, and like career politicians and rich Democrat benefactors just funneled money into his campaign. He didn't have to do anything, and he won. Literally, that's how bad Trump was.
Right, like it was literally, I am not Trump.
Yeah, Trump bad. Vote for me. People always say that radical democratic socialist policy would it would never work in America, and it's not popular and all this stuff. And how come Bernie Sanders and that never make it far enough to be a viable candidate and stuff like that? It's because they don't have any billionaires behind them funding it. It's all like grassroots campaigns. It's all funded by the people because it's against a billionaire's interests to vote for democratic socialism. So
yeah.
Imagine how much impact and influence people like AOC and Ilhan Omar and Bernie Sanders could make if they had the proper support behind them. It'd be insane.
Which is what we need, we need these people to have like that financial support behind them because there's obviously public support is behind them. They just can't afford these massive campaigns when it comes to election time.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I keep trying to steer us away from politics because it's boring as fuck.
We just keep getting dragged back in.
Yeah, keep getting stun locked into talking about politics. Okay.
Okay. Well, I had a little bit of a different thing that we could talk about. And this is being filmed, or this is being recorded on the 23rd of February. Now, if that date sticks out to anybody, that is the date of the massive content drop on Disney Plus.
Hell yeah. Star, baby.
It's kind of amazing the amount of content they've been able to like snatch up and just force onto their streaming platform. But I said this to Eleanor this morning. Disney Plus is quite quickly becoming one of the best streaming platforms there is.
It went overnight from a D tier to like an A tier. It's not S tier because the user interface is garbage, but with regards to like content, it's
the
really good.
The amount of content that's been dropped at one time is actually incredible.
Yeah. The X-Files is on there. And I strongly encourage you to watch the X-Files. Please, for the love of God, just watch the X-Files. It's so goddamn good. I love it.
I'm interested in watching the X-Files.
I love it. I love it. I love it. It's so fucking good.
Another couple of things that have been dropped. They've dropped Family Guy, Futurama, and American Dad all at the same time, which is
hell yeah,
awesome.
There's a show called The Fosters, which is actually the first time it'll have ever been on available legally to the British. The Fosters is a show by ABC, and ABC is now called Freeform, I think. And it's basically a show about a biracial lesbian couple and their family made up of biological and adopted multiracial kids. And it's very American cheesy high school drama, but it's a very progressive and very popular show. And yeah, all 5 seasons of that are on Disney Plus now. And I used to torrent it, bad boy, and then I just got like I stopped torrenting
Bad,
it
bad
because
boy.
I felt guilty, so I stopped torrenting it. So I was like, I'll just wait till maybe one day it Britain, and it has finally, so I can continue watching it, which is nice.
Good. Well, I'm glad that it sounds like a bit of a ticky box show. But if you're saying that
Yeah,
it's good as well as being a ticky box show, then that's good.
yeah, it's good. It's just a very progressive show, which is nice. Nice to see. You like to see.
They've even got like they managed to get 24 on there. They managed to get Prison Break. Bones is on there. Like all these old shows that I didn't think anybody had the rights to anymore have just been snatched up by Disney.
Well, yeah, because it's all Fox, and they just bought Fox.
Is it all Fox?
So I think so. Wait, it's all Fox?
That makes
Always
sense.
has been.
Yeah.
You know the meme. I did a funny.
You did a funny.
How many seasons of Bones has there been, and do I care to watch it? 12 seasons. Oh hell no, that's a bit
12
much.
seasons of Bones.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that Bones was all right. I'm looking through just what else they've got. They've got that Olivia Colman Oscar-winning movie, The Favorite, is on there.
Phenomenal. If you haven't seen it, very very good.
Lost is on there. Modern Family's on there.
Not all of
Glee is
Modern
also
Family.
on there. Sons of Anarchy. Is it not all of Modern Family?
No, it's the first 8 seasons. Yeah, a bit of a grab bag though. Sons of
Okay.
Anarchy, Glee. Yeah. I know
Shows
I'll
that
be
all finished
making
like ages ago.
Yeah. I know I'll be making a beeline for American Dad probably. I love it. It's the best Seth MacFarlane show. It's like because we always like joke about Family Guy and like it's like a meme. Family Guy isn't funny. Family Guy is terrible. It's funny when you're 12, but like American Dad is just so fucking funny. It's so good.
It is actually very good. I think we all kind of look back on Family Guy with a little bit of nostalgia about how
Yeah.
good it used to be, but then we remember that it's been on the air for what, like 15 years now, something like that.
21 years, mate.
21 years it's been on the air.
Nearly 22 years.
Right, that's why we all thought it was so funny because like I'm 23 and it's almost as old as I am. That's why I
Yeah.
thought it was so funny back in the day.
It's the same age as me. Oh God,
That's a stark fact.
I'm 21. I forgot. Do you ever
Are
forget
you
how
having
old
a
you are?
crisis now because you're 21?
Yeah. Do you ever forget how old you are for like a minute? And then it
Sometimes
hits
you
you.
just I feel ageless sometimes.
Sometimes I still feel like I'm 17, you know?
Well, sometimes you still act like you're 17.
Hey. Just remember where you are.
But no, I think this whole drop of new content on Disney Plus is going to do great things for it. I did see that they did a lot of marketing about being able to still get Disney Plus for $6.99 before the 23rd, but they've bumped up the monthly price now, I'm pretty sure.
What the fuck? Have they?
Yeah, they have.
Hang
I
on.
think if
I
you
need to
if you
Google
had
this.
Disney Plus before the 23rd, your direct debit shouldn't change, but if you want to get it new now, you've got to pay slightly more for it.
We bought it on a yearly subscription though.
Did you? Oh, I don't know.
Oh no, it's still $5.99 a month.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Okay. So that's good. It sounds like if you've already got it, your subscription shouldn't change. That might
Yeah.
not stay the same forever, but currently it's not changing.
Okay, so another thing that's kind of happened to me since we last did one of these is I have fallen in love. I have fallen in love with David Lynch. David Lynch. Yep. I adore the man. I adore him so much. I want to be best friends with him.
Okay. So if anybody out there listening is like me, you can't quite place David Lynch. So who is David Lynch?
David Lynch is a writer, a director. He did Elephant Man. He did Mulholland Drive. And most notably, he did Twin Peaks. He made the Twin Peaks series.
Okay.
And he is just one of the craziest motherfuckers on the planet. If you ever want to laugh, go on his YouTube channel. It's called David Lynch Theater. For the last year, he has uploaded 2 videos every day. The first video being the daily weather report. And the second video being he picks a random number between 1 and 10 out of a jar. That's it. That's the video.
Those are the videos that he uploads to his YouTube channel every day.
Every single day. He has not missed a day.
For how long? How long has he been doing that?
About a year.
So every day for about a year, he's uploaded 2 YouTube videos of just a daily weather report and picking a number between 1 and 10 from a jar.
Yep. He's brilliant. He's completely mental.
I can't tell how I feel about that. I don't know if it's... I'm in awe right now, and I don't know why I'm in awe, because it sounds so simple, but it's genius.
He's a genius. He is phenomenal. He is a director I would give my left leg to work with, and I know I never will because he is quite old now.
And that's what he does.
In his 70s.
In his spare time, he's uploading these YouTube videos that must take him no longer than 5 minutes to film and upload.
He's 75, but let me show you a picture of him. He is the coolest looking old guy you will ever see. Like,
where are you sending it?
So much drip. I'll send it to you on Facebook.
Okay.
Look at the neck of David Lynch. What a handsome boy.
Oh my god, he's in his 70s.
Yep.
That's some serious drip. That's some swag from David Lynch right there.
Look at his hair, dude.
It's so thick.
Yeah. He is the coolest dude. It's just so cool.
Okay, for anybody watching on YouTube, I'm gonna have a picture of David Lynch on the screen. But if you're listening on Spotify, which hopefully you are, just know that David Lynch might be the sexiest old man I've ever seen in my life.
Hell yeah! I want to be David Lynch when I'm that age. I want to be that cool.
Not even work with David Lynch or be in a room with David Lynch. You want to be him.
Maybe for a day. I wanna be in his mind for a day to see what life is like for David Lynch.
Do you know what would be incredible if we were to get David Lynch as a guest on the podcast and we could just pick his brain?
Do you know what? He's that weird. I have a feeling like if we were to somehow get in touch with him, he'd probably just do that.
Do you know what? I'm very tempted to just do it.
He's like, oh, you've got no listeners on your podcast? I'll do your podcast. Why not? It'll be fun.
I mean, just honestly, like, okay, for real, if we had David Lynch on the podcast, do you think you'd be able to compose yourself?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm making it my goal to get David Lynch on the podcast.
Oh my god, you're mental. It's never gonna happen.
I don't care. I'm gonna go for it. I'm not gonna stop until I've gotten in touch with his publicist, his agent, him possibly. I'm not gonna harass his family because that becomes extremely strange and weird and unprofessional. But I will make it my mission to at least get a direct response from him.
He's I mean, he is home like every day at the moment because he's in LA, which is a COVID hotspot.
Yes.
You're mental. That's mad.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try.
It would be funny though, wouldn't it?
Because do you know what? he might just say yeah.
Because he's mental.
He's absolutely
in the
mental.
best way.
In the best way. Nothing but respect for David Lynch, and I literally had never heard of him until 5 minutes ago.
Are you kidding me, dude?
I had no idea who David Lynch was.
Sacrilege.
You were saying all these names of things, and I'd briefly, I think, heard of Twin Peaks, but I had no idea what it was.
There, you're so uncultured. Twin Peaks is one of the best crime dramas ever
Is it?
because it's just a mind fuck. Yeah, it's insane. It's so good. Anyway, there is he has a 15-minute short film on Netflix called "What Did Jack Do," and it's him interviewing a monkey called Jack in an interrogation room.
That's it.
Yep,
For 15 minutes, it's him in a room, an interrogation room, with a monkey.
with a monkey. Yep.
I can't tell if you're being serious or not, because this sounds like something you came up with right now.
No, it's real. It's a capuchin monkey.
Okay.
I think the monkey's in a suit as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. I'm adding this to my list on Netflix right now because I want to see that. What did Jack
Yeah, the monkey's
do?
in a suit.
Found it. It's real. Okay. All right. So as well as the massive content dump on Disney Plus, I've also got a new Netflix thing to watch.
Yep. What did Jack do?
What did Jack do? Have you seen it?
I have.
Is okay. I don't really want to ask any more questions about it because I want to experience it completely raw. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you should.
Okay. So you have fallen in love with David Lynch. That's something that's happened for you in the past few weeks.
Yep. And I it's honestly like, where has he been all my life? Because I love him.
The dedication of Toby when he falls in love with somebody is quite dramatic.
There never was a truer statement said on this.
So what else have you been up to? So what have you been what you binging right now?
Well, Star Trek: The Next Generation. Still working my
Are
way
you
through
still
that.
on that? Because you've been on that
Yeah,
for
there's a
months and
lot
months
of it,
and
dude.
months.
Well, sometimes I slow down on it because you get burnt out, so I take my time with it and then I go back to it.
I get that.
My flatmate and I are watching Twin Peaks, obviously, adoring it. What else have I been watching? Twin Peaks. Oh, I kind of slowed down on The Crown. We're about halfway through season 4 of The Crown, mainly because there's only so much Margaret Thatcher I could take.
I think we talked about that in the podcast that never was. That you've been watching The
In the
Crown
Shadow
recently.
Realm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it was also briefly mentioned that we should get our friends Rebecca and Isla on because they're Crown fanatics.
Yeah,
Um,
that'd be a
so
good idea.
yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because we did have some good stuff in that podcast that never was. So just reminding people that we do try, even though we might not post very often.
It's because we're new to this.
Well, we're actually not that new because it was during the first lockdown or just after the first lockdown where we came up with the idea. So we have actually been going 8 or 9 months now.
Shush, we're new.
Okay.
That's still new to me.
That is still new. Fair enough. Okay. I had a question. Have you seen the US Office?
Of course I have.
Okay.
Who hasn't?
I have never seen it, but I'm watching it right now for the first time with Eleanor.
Oh, it's good fun. I like it. The fan base is cringe, but it's good fun. It's a very good show.
I was always one of those people where if people said to me you need to watch The Office, I was like, why? It's just a funny sitcom show essentially. I didn't realize how much the writers actually put into it. It's a much more deep show than it originally comes off.
What season are you on?
I think I'm on season 6 right now.
All right. Okay. So you're right in there.
Yeah. Everything's kind of a lot has happened in the past 6 seasons. Well, the past 5 and a bit, and it's like looking back on where it started. It is a little bit insane. And I feel like I'm really late to the party talking about how good The Office is. Do you ever do that?
Well, no, I don't think I sat down and actually watched it till last year, maybe the year before. So I wasn't. I was quite late to it as well.
Okay.
But no, I love
But
it. It's fantastic.
did you have any fantastic opinions about The Office? Like, what do you remember about it?
Have you got into the scene with Kevin's chili yet?
Yes, yes.
Kevin's chili. Oh my god, so good.
I howled laughing at that. It was so bad.
It's so fucking funny. What about the one? Has Dwight done the fire drill yet?
Yes, Dwight did the fire drill.
That's the funniest cold open the show has ever had. It might be the
That
funniest moment in the show.
that
Is
was
when like yeah, that's the funniest moment of the show. The fire drill. It's just too good.
that is a ridiculously good episode, to be fair. I also, because that was the one where they also got the CPR training in with the sort of mannequin chest.
Yes, and he does the Hannibal Lecter face.
Yes. It is a ridiculous show sometimes. And is a lot of the comedy comes from cringy moments, but there are some moments where it's absolute genius.
You haven't got to Scott's Tots yet, I don't think.
No, I haven't got to Scott's Tots.
That is the hardest episode of any show like I've ever seen. It was so like toe curlingly cringe. I'm not
Yeah.
going to spoil it for you, but oh my god, it's really hard to watch.
Okay. I wanted to ask you about this because you know how Ricky Gervais is he was the creator of the UK office, and him and Stephen Merchant are the executive producers of the US office, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And you know how Ricky Gervais, when he is at award shows, literally could not give less of a shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it was either the Emmys or the Golden Globes or something, and Steve Carell won the award for the US office. And Ricky
Yeah.
Gervais, I think, was introducing it. Or he went up and accepted the award on his behalf or something, but Steve Carell was in the audience. He was in the front row. And
Mm-hmm.
the entire time, Ricky Gervais was just like, this award belongs to me. You have stolen my award because I've made you what you are today. And it's
Yeah. It was a bit. It was a whole
yeah,
bit.
it was horrible to watch though.
Yeah, it's really cringe, but like they're both in on it.
I did not know that Steve Carell was in on it, just based on the way that he was looking at him, like he was over it.
Well, because they're like best mates.
I actually didn't know they were best mates, but that's
Well, yeah, they
that's good to
worked.
know.
They worked on The Office for ages. So
Well, I don't know how like involved Ricky Gervais actually was with it. Like I know he's an executive producer, but I didn't know that he was like directly involved with the filming process of it. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. Well, he wrote a lot of it as well. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, okay, that's good. That's good. Um, you don't watch Drag Race, do you?
No, I don't.
No, no.
I'm sorry.
I
I have no
I I,
interest.
I wanted somebody to complain about Drag Race with, but I've got Eleanor, and we complain about it almost every time it's on. But you
Can't
might
help you there,
appreciate
brother.
this because it's got nothing to do with what's happening on the show. It's just the sheer sort of production line of RuPaul's Drag Race, because they released two different seasons at exactly the same time.
Okay.
So they've released
Yeah, Drag Race UK.
and Drag Race US. They released them at the exact same time, and they expect people to keep up to date on both of them at the same time, and it's making us lose our interest in it. Do you know what I mean?
Uh, I really can't relate. I don't I don't watch it.
No, I know,
I'm
but like
sorry.
I just need you to agree with me that that's quite money hungry. Would you agree with that?
Um, I guess so.
Okay, that's you. You've made me happy there by just agreeing with it because I felt like I was going out of my mind. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
It was like the emperor had no clothes and nobody could see it.
I'm with you.
Okay. Are you aware of the announcement that Boris Johnson has made about the proposed exit out of lockdown in England?
It's I am aware of it. I've not read into it because it doesn't apply to us.
I think what he's promising, or what it sounds like he's promising, is that by the middle of June, everything will be back to normal. And I don't mean like
Yeah,
back to normal.
nightclubs are meant to be open on the 21st of June. Is that
Yeah,
right?
nightclubs and pubs and going out with no masks on and stuff like that is supposed to be promised on the 21st of June, which seems
Okay.
very ambitious.
Nicola Sturgeon has just made an announcement as well, actually.
Oh, I didn't know about
If you want
hers.
to talk
What
about
she
that.
said.
She hopes to remove the stay-at-home restriction by April 5th. If all goes according to plan, the country will move back to the level system of coronavirus restrictions from April 26th. Fuck me.
Wait, hang
With
on.
all
So
council areas moving to level 3.
she's wanting to like lift the stay-at-home restriction at the start of April, and then near the end of April, she's wanting to go back to the tier system.
Yeah. Jesus fucking Christ. I can't do another month of this, man. I can't.
Are you losing your mind?
Jesus Christ. I can't. Why? Why so late?
Well,
April 5th? Are you shitting me?
she's being very, very cautious with it.
Fuck.
It's understandable why she's being very cautious with it. I get it, but surely you've got to reevaluate that closer to the time. Do you know what I mean?
That is a long way off.
Are you panicking? Is that what's happening?
Yes. Jesus Christ. That is such a long way away.
It is a long way. What's your sort of daily routine right now? What kind of stuff do you do to fill your day?
I get up, I look for jobs, I work out, and then I watch TV.
Yeah, that sounds very similar to a lot of people's daily routines right
The
now.
pubs aren't going to be open until May, because if we're all going to level 3 on the 23rd of April, the pubs still won't be open.
No, they won't be.
I work in a pub. I can't do this, man. I can't do it. Are you fucking kidding me?
When did this announcement come out?
Today.
Oh, it came out today. Oh, okay.
Jesus Christ.
Jeez, we're fresh off the press with this.
Where's a break? We're breaking the story. Well, not really, because this isn't going out live. But
No,
like,
our reactions will be going out. Like this is raw right now. This is becoming a little bit bleak, isn't it? I did not expect this for the podcast.
hey, if anyone has friends with mental health problems, just send them a message, check up on them, give them a wee call
Yeah,
or a FaceTime.
especially after this announcement.
Just drop in and just make sure you're chatting to people. And if you have mental health problems, just make sure you're chatting to people or go outside for some fresh air. Do something that'll make you happy, even for 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's one thing. People's mental states aren't getting any better. In fact, for a lot of people, they're getting worse. Like, plenty of people who wouldn't have considered themselves to have a particularly iffy mental state before COVID hit have now developed certain little things where their mental state is not as good as it used to be. So I can only imagine what it's doing to people with already existing mental things. Are you a little bit in shock right now?
Yep. What the fuck am I gonna do? I can't do it, okay? I can't do another 3 months of this.
I know what you mean. I get you. Um, yeah, we're rapidly approaching the end of February, and we've been in this since before January. So this is dragging on a bit now. Um, I really don't know what to say about this. This has kind of become very, very shocking and bleak at the end of this recording.
I'm gonna have to go and have a sulk after this, I think.
Okay. I think, yeah, I think it's important to reiterate what Toby was saying is if you have any friends or relatives that have um, mental health issues, then it would be a good idea to check on them, uh, especially in the wake of this announcement, because this is actually a live reaction of somebody finding out and having a shock about it.
What a fucking time to be alive.
Yeah, what a time to be alive. Um, well, that I'm gonna be really cheesy here, and I'm gonna add in a little bit of marketing because this is actually what the podcast is supposed to do. In my mind, it's supposed to distract you from all of the crap that's going on in your life or in the world. It's just supposed to be something that you stick on and you listen to, and you just have a good laugh. Um,
Yeah, sorry guys for dropping that
it's all right.
bomb.
I think it could actually be quite good, because people will also be having similar reactions, so it's good to hear that it's not just them. Um,
Yeah.
and I think it's something that me and you can actually promise that we can try and do is that when we put out a podcast, our goal is to distract you from all the crap that's going on, for as long as the podcast goes on for, just because that's something that we feel that we're quite good at.
Yeah.
So that's us kind of come full circle from the introduction where we talked about why we changed our name. So I think
So,
that could be a
children, what have
that
we learned today?
that could be a decent place
We've
to end
learned
it.
Republicans bad, Trump bad, Rush Limbaugh dead, David Lynch, please come on the podcast. And lockdown will be lifted on the 17th of May, 2050.
But on the positive side, there's a lot of new content on Disney Plus for you to binge to get through it.
Hell yeah, Family Guy, baby.
Family Guy, baby. A Peter.
Hey, Peter.
Okay,
Hey, Peter.
I think we should
Nice
round it
cock.
off around there.
Okay. I've been Toby.
I've been Ryan. This has been episode 1 of the newly named Distractors podcast. Hopefully listening on Spotify.
Like us on Facebook.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Spotify.
And, tell a friend.
Tell a friend.
Tell David Lynch. Bye.